This is my lab video for Chapter 15 Cocoa and Chocolate Products. So we did questions for review, and then I'll show you my truffles. So what is meant by a cocoa nib? Cocoa nibs are small bits of roasted chocolate or roasted cocoa beans. They're thought of as chopped nuts and contain large amounts of cocoa butter and cocoa solid non-fats. Cocoa nibs also have a strong bitter chocolate taste. What changes occur in cocoa beans as they are roasted? Roasting loosens the shell for easy removal, and it also reduces the amount of moisture and destroys microorganisms and unwanted pests. Roasting also darkens the color and changes the flavor. It also initiates Maillard reactions, which involve the breakdown of sugars and other proteins, and it produces a deep earthy middle and a dark color. The main difference in the makeup between unsweetened chocolate and natural cocoa: unsweetened cocoa is high in cocoa butter. Natural cocoa is a powder, and additional shortening or butter is needed. So they take the cocoa nibs and they press them, and a cake is formed, and so all the cocoa butter and moisture comes out of it, and then it's ground up into a fine powder. Which should be used for the richest, most chocolate flavor in baked goods, and which should be used in low-fat products. Unsweetened chocolate should be used for the rich chocolate flavor, and then cocoa should be used in low-fat products. How is Dutch cocoa made? How does it differ from natural cocoa in color, flavor, and acidity? Dutch cocoa has been treated with a mild alkali to neutralize the natural acidity of cocoa. Potassium carbonate is used as an alkali in the Dutching process, and it also has the process darkens the color of cocoa, and it has a smoother and mellower flavor than natural cocoa does, and since it's chemically treated with an alkali, it's less acidic and not as astringent as cocoa. Another name for semi-sweet chocolate is bittersweet dark chocolate. How does milk chocolate compare with bittersweet chocolate in minimum percentage of cocoa in the U.S.? Cocoa solids in the U.S. In the U.S., the minimum for cocoa solids and bittersweet chocolate is 35%, and the milk chocolate is 10%. And then for Canada, it's the minimum for cocoa solids and bittersweet chocolate is also 35%, but milk chocolate is a minimum of 25%. How does the amount of cocoa butter in chocolate and couvertures affect their property? Couverture chocolates is a chocolate with a minimum of 31% cocoa butter. They're higher in quality they are higher quality chocolate products, and they're used for garnishes, decorations, dips, and also for icing, cakes, and cookies and candies. There is added cocoa butter that better coats the sugar and cocoa particles, allowing them to flow easier, so it has more viscosity, and it also gives an attractive glossy finish. Has the characteristic snap to it and smoother melt away mouthfeel. And then, why must chocolate be tempered before it cools? It needs to be tempered before it cools to solidify the cocoa butter in chocolate. To solidify the cocoa butter in chocolate into a form that provides the most appealing appearance, texture, and flavor. The main differences between alpha, beta prime, and beta crystals. Alpha is the lowest melting point, then beta prime, and then beta. The beta form is the most desirable of the three because it provides chocolate with snap, gloss, and a smooth mouthfeel. Beta crystals also have the highest melting point of the three, and that makes them the most stable and least likely to melt and bloom during storage. Why is the goal of tempering to form the largest number of beta crystals? It allows the liquid chocolate to cool and harden into a stable solid. How does cocoa butter compare to all-purpose shortening in its ability to shorten and tenderize? Cocoa butter is considered to have about half the shortening or tenderizing power of all-purpose shortening. This is partly because cocoa butter is solid at room temperature, and cocoa butter also provides firmness and structure throughout the formation of fat solid crystals. So at room temperature, the cocoa butter is still pretty solid, whereas shortening and butter at room temperature are much softer. What changes occur in white chocolate when it is stored for too long? Maillard browning occurs, causing color to darken, and it has an off flavor. And what is a fat bloom? How can it be prevented? Fat bloom is a whitish coating that appears on the chocolate, and it's caused by changes in the fat crystals, and this happens when it's improperly stored. So here's that, and then I'll show. And so here are my truffles. So this one has some sprinkles on it, and this one I rolled in toasted coconut, and then this one I rolled in some walnuts, and this one is cocoa powder. So I think they turned out really good. The kids are very, very eager to eat them, but I told them first I had to make the video. So, all right, that's it. Thank you.